live, we can love, yes, we can spark, we can give, we can love, we can die together. The conversation, the separation, the overlooked $1,000,000 violations. It's time to forget, to hit reset. Desire your only get about the presets. The whole nothing back, burn up your last sack. The picture hangs on the
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
the Face-Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
Face-Off Hockey Show. With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
breakaway.
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with the C.
Yeah, baby.
You believe in miracles? Yes!
Here's your host for the Face-Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz.
Welcome to a joyous eve before World Cup kickoff thingy of Face-Off Hockey Show. Scotty Waz here. I'm joined as always by Mark with a C there.
Yep, I am here.
And Johnny P, who doesn't have his big headphones on, so it's really throwing me off.
No, I switched it up a bit, and the reason is because I didn't know if I would break these somehow with the headphones, so I decided against wearing the headphones tonight. I'm just going earbuds. But look at this. Isn't this fantastic? Mark was showing off all his USA gear last week, so
yes,
I had to try and catch up.
Those are way better than mine.
Yeah, and they're Wayfarers. No, they're not way better. They're Wayfarers.
Ah.
Plus, I got out the cup for tonight.
Hey, well, there it is.
Yeah, the cup is in the house.
Indeed. I thought you meant the inflatable one too.
Well, I mean, the cup's always in the house. Well, I could bring that downstairs.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has air in it though.
That's probably for the best.
Just like Madison Square Garden later.
Exactly. That's been a fun time. Let me tell you. Wow, there's a lot of rumors now breaking in the past couple of minutes here. Anyway.
What's breaking?
A lot of trade rumors, and Law Richard will be on in an hour to talk about them.
Yes. So... I fixed my camera this week too, I think.
Nice.
You think?
Yeah, I look a lot better this week than I did last week.
Last week was weirdly weird. You're not delayed either, so that's good too.
That's good. Well, it might be just because I'm on steroids this week.
Well, that could be it too.
Yeah, I'm faster, much faster.
I don't know if that's how it works. I don't know how steroids work. I don't know how steroids work.
I can breathe through my nose.
There's a first for everything, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Johnny, your week was that.
I went to the doctor. My doctor decided we are not having surgery on my nose again this summer.
Yay!
So we're just going to treat it like any normal person would with drugs. So yeah, I'm on the steroids right now. 2 weeks of steroids to open up the sinuses and the breathing. And yeah, done the steroids on the 24th. The 28th is my fitness test for soccer. So I can't think of any better timing for this to occur. It'll be awesome as soon as it stops raining here and I can run at night.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, other than that, I found out that there's a loop around my house that's apparently a lot closer than what I'd been running. And it's a half a mile all the way around, so now I just run that 3 times instead of running all the way out to Route 2 and back.
How far is that?
Route 2 and back is 2 miles. But
so you're running 1.5 miles now instead of 4 miles?
No, it's a mile out, mile back.
Ah.
Yeah. So I'm running 1.5 miles instead of 2 miles, and I'm running it as fast as I can.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Very nice.
Yeah. Making it happen.
Probably a lot safer too than running out to Route 2.
It's true. It is true. Yeah. And I don't have to run by the pool.
That's good? I don't know. Is that good or bad?
Not things to see at the pool.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh. Bad news. What else happened? Oh, my neighbor cut my grass.
Interesting.
That's good.
Yeah.
The longer you'd put it off, the
Yeah,
more likely someone else is going to do it for you.
I guess he decided that he was already cutting his grass because he laid down sod. So he decides that he wants to cut his grass more often now because he has it. And yeah, so he just ran over all the grass that was in my yard. Came out and it was cut one day.
There you go. All 6 square feet of it.
Yep, pretty much. I'm thinking about just astroturfing it.
Attaboy.
Yeah, you know what?
That's
That's probably
expensive, right?
probably not the worst idea.
I was thinking about turning my backyard into a putting green.
That's great.
I mean, the yard isn't that big, so it would be nice.
That's what I mean, yeah. And you could keep the part like up by the door and just turn it into a sand pit.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's already sand anyway.
Well, there you go. Just make it into a pit, and you're fine.
Yes.
Then we can have some competitions, drinking competitions in your backyard.
Practice my short game too.
That's true.
Plus, if you work, if you kind of go like Tin Cup here, you could hood a 4-iron, hit it out the back of the basement through the French doors and out onto the green. You can't knock the pelican off of the perch though.
Yet.
Yes. Right. So yeah, my week's pretty uneventful.
Yeah, no, it seems like it. Steroids, people cutting your lawn, and
Yeah.
this.
I feel like a professional soccer player now.
As you should.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, I got nothing. I had 2 weddings over the weekend, so I was absolutely exhausted. They were fun. The Berminator got married. What's that?
In Utah?
Yes, in Utah.
Nice.
I've never even been to Utah.
Yeah, you have.
Yes, I have. Actually, here's the proof that I've been to Utah. It's actually sitting right in front of me.
Oh,
Yeah.
If
There
you
you
can see
go.
that. Yeah, it's Salt Lake City, Utah.
I remember you showing pictures of shirts that they were selling at the airport.
So that was just a blatant lie of me telling you I'd never been to Utah. But the Berminator got married, which was fun, and so that wedding was a good time. I always like a wedding with a good photo booth. I gotta say, photo booth weddings, I must say, are some of my favorite weddings.
When did that trend come to be?
Not soon enough.
Okay.
Wait. No, I don't know. The first photo booth wedding I went to was like 4 years ago, I think.
It was like 1805.
Well, there you go.
Yes. Everything was a photo booth back then.
It's true.
Nothing but photo booths.
Actually, it was just a guy painting you.
Stand still for 25 hours.
But the wedding's gonna be over.
It's fine. I'm going to make it anyway. You want this painting there, don't you? I really don't know what accent that is. It's like half half Boston. Doesn't know what it wants to be. Perfect Pennsylvania Dutch accent. So yes, the Justina Forever thing. They tried to
Yes,
make it a thing.
hashtag was going all wild on
All crazy.
Facebook.
Yes, it was, and there was nothing I could do about that. Actually, I had to congratulate them because it was the first time that a hashtag has been used correctly in I can't remember how long. Because everyone that was posting pictures could then click on the hashtag and find all the pictures. It made
so
sense.
that was pretty smart then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obvious. It's usually what you
Which
do.
is how hashtags are supposed to work. But there are very dumb people on the internet who just hashtag very stupid things that no one would ever have.
Hashtag stupid things.
Yes. Ugh. So anyway, there was that. That was my week. And then Saturday night's wedding was in D.C. and I was already exhausted and I was just like trying to power through it. We didn't sit to eat dinner until 9:30.
Oh.
Ouch.
So yeah, I was dead like I am now.
Did you take a nap?
Did I take a nap at the wedding?
Yeah.
It was at a church. It was during the USA-Nigeria game. I was actually considering going to the confessional and just shutting that little thing and just going to sleep.
Nice.
But they apparently frown upon that. So
Listen, I think it's fine. I think they would have understood patriotism overall. And hey, how many years did you go to Catholic school? I'm pretty sure you got that little built up credit in there. It's like,
Good.
I think you're good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mention that next time I get in any trouble anywhere.
There you go. Listen, I got this built up guilt meter. It's fine. I had religion class every day for 4 years. Let's be fine with this. All right.
Scotty?
I had nothing. I really did nothing this weekend.
Nothing.
Nah. Yeah, no, nothing. I'm actually trying to think. No, nothing really happened. Another one of the Mr. Mike's girls left. One of my favorites. Yeah, she left.
Why are they leaving?
Everyone's leaving me. Everyone's going. They're like, hey, Stu Gotts, I'm out of here. I have a career to deal with now. I'm like, what's this career?
Will there
Career
be new
thing?
girls?
There has been. And there has been. So, yeah, it's been interesting. And that was about it. Nothing really other than that. It's Calgary in the summertime. Wait till Stampede is essentially the motto of this town. Summer, summer, summertime. Did we ever think of what the summertime song is going to be? Did we ever?
I thought we decided on it. It was going to be the Butt Wiggle song.
Not at the house.
When we did the discussion on the songs, we didn't. I don't think the Butt Wiggle song was out yet when we first had discussions. But now the Butt Wiggle song is out, so now we have to.
It is a game changer, that's for sure.
It's on the radio now?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is on legit radio. It's not even on. Well, I found it on Sirius XM radio.
Same here.
But now it's on like 99.5 radio, which I find hilarious.
99.5 still exists?
Yeah, that. And like people could just be driving around in their car listening to You Know What to Do with That Big Fat Butt. On radio, you don't have to pay for.
That's true.
Which shouldn't surprise me, but I guess it doesn't surprise me so much as it amuses me.
Why does it amuse you? Why does a Butt Wiggle song amuse you so
Oh,
much?
come on. You answered your own question.
We
Why
were
is that
listening
Butt Wiggle song
to
amuse me?
minutes worth of Butt Wiggle songs.
Well, it's kind of the thing of just like we didn't understand the whole thing, and then by the way, the Butt Wiggle song's around.
Yeah.
And
then Bubble Butt. Bubble, bubble, bubble butt.
Yes, by Major Lazer.
There we go.
Maybe you should bring back Booty Tunes.
Ooh, man, those would have been perfect for Booty Tunes. I'll have to get with Pridgeon and see if he can make a Booty Tunes Volume 2.
Volume 2, he's probably up to 15 by this point.
Yeah.
He went on his own.
Now that's what I call Booty Tunes.
There it is.
That's what we gotta do. It's fantastic. But now I got that in my head.
Good. That's where it belongs.
Well, because I for some reason, because Tumblr is as it is, the Iggy Azalea song, the fancy song.
Yes.
That the video itself is, I think, worth the price of admission.
Why do you say that?
It's a pretty much shot-by-shot remake of Clueless. So
I will have to check that out.
It's quite fantastic.
Would you say it's fancy?
Even though she looks like one of the Wayans brothers in White Chicks, it's a good video. So yeah,
was that part of the? Yeah, was that part of the reason? Was that part of the how the video was made? Was she supposed to look like a Damon Wayans White Chick?
No, that's just how she naturally looks.
Oh. Okay.
Have you ever seen her before?
I don't believe I have.
Okay.
Did you? Are you going to show him the picture of Iggy and Jeff Jarrett?
That is a good one. Give me. All right. I will show him.
I found that today. That was fantastic.
Wait, the Jeff Jarrett?
JEFFJARRE. Let me bring up these.
What was she doing with Jeff Jarrett?
No, well, it's a side-by-side comparison, my friend.
Oh.
Because that's what Tumblr's all about, brother.
Because that made no sense to me otherwise.
She is so fancy. All right, so Here we go. Here is first off the Iggy Azalea Jeff Jarrett picture. Who wore it better?
Nice. That's awesome.
So of course that's good old Double J era when he had the roadie and they had the little fight there, and then you have I don't know. She just looks like she's a Wayans brother. In White Girls.
Is she actually white?
She's Australian, so I'm assuming Aboriginal of some sort.
Yeah.
So she's
They
a
let her
criminal.
off the island.
Well, she's definitely a criminal. We know that. We've established that because she is Australian.
Yes, and that's by using a transitive property.
Exactly. There you go.
All Australians are criminals.
And when I was in Outback, I fingered her. So
Wow.
Oh,
because I fingered Australia. So
yeah,
and
you did.
by proxy, again, transitive property, I fingered Iggy Azalea.
Right. You did stick a finger right in the bottom of Australia.
Right between the ends.
The ends?
The ends.
There are no ends in Australia.
Why? Because it's an island?
First off, don't be racist. Second off, there's ends.
I know my Wheel of Fortune, and there are no ends in Australia.
Okay, Mark does have a point.
END, not the letter N.
Oh. I still don't like it.
It's fine.
We destroyed a bloomin' onion, though.
Yeah, you crush a bloomin' onion. Who doesn't crush a bloomin' onion these days, man? You got to. It's the only thing we got left in this world. So yeah, I put the finger right in this area, right around here. So right in the crevice.
Right in that lower bay area?
Right in the lower bay.
Yeah.
Right in the pouch.
Sasky never sent me anything back to the picture of you fingering Australia.
It's probably for the best. Yeah, you know why? It's too real. It got too real.
Is that because is Australia peeing on New Zealand?
Is it? I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a good question. Are we going to debate this? It's less so than Florida, that's for sure.
It's less. See, I would say that Australia pooped out New Zealand.
Oh, so that's a backside and not a.
Well, I'm just saying, like by the looks of things, like if on the eye
Because
test.
New Zealand's like a long turd.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, you follow me here. The I don't know. It just looks like this whole part of it just broke off in some kind of poop.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you did find a brown picture.
Well, yeah, that's kind of, haha, hilarious. But
This is some stellar stuff, guys.
well, this is what we're paid to do. We're in a time where tonight could be the last game of the NHL season. There's not much to talk about.
Yes, and then the show turns into a World Cup show for 4 weeks.
Yeah, what happened to getting the Monk and the Mick on?
It's a good question. We should probably try to get them on. Should probably try to get them to the Big Stand Invitational.
I bet you we could get TV's Joe Miller on the show to talk some soccer.
We probably actually, Navy doesn't have anything going on.
Yeah,
So-
we should get TV's Joe Miller to come on next week.
Because God knows he has nothing to talk about when it comes to Philadelphia.
And Sean Leahy said he'll come on and talk about soccer too.
Well, that's good.
Well, the Irish aren't in the World Cup. He realizes that, right?
Yes, he does. And I didn't bring up the fact that Portugal just beat Ireland 5-1 yesterday.
Hold on, I just got a text. Yeah, Portugal just scored again.
Oh, wow.
6-1 now. Amazing. How that
They're on
happened.
the plane.
Portugal! First game, 4 o'clock East, as Brazil takes on Croatia. In a game that I will definitely take the over in.
We are very excited.
So I do have a question now. Have there any of the 3 games so far that have been played, have there any of them ended in less than 4.5 goals?
Yes, the game 3, and that's it.
Oh, I fell asleep.
I win.
So, hold on. So
I don't care, I win.
You've been wrong 2 out of 3 times.
I win.
Not only wrong, monumentally wrong.
And a debate came up on whether or not pulling Henrik Lundqvist with 4 minutes left to go with an extra skater constitutes pulling him, or if a new goalie had to go in order to win my proposition that he would be pulled at some point during the series.
I think a new goalie has to go in.
All
David
All right.
Leneveu would have had to go in, which, by the way, is hilarious that he's the backup.
I didn't
Why is
even
that?
know he still existed.
Exactly. That's why it's hilarious. No one realized he was still a thing.
Did Marty Biron just like decide he was going to pack his bags and defect back home in the middle of the night?
No, he retired at the beginning of the year.
The last
when
goal that was scored on him was the Thomas Hurdle goal, I believe.
Yeah. So after that, he's just like, all right, Stu Gotts, I'm out of here, guys. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to go to RDS and TSN and do commentary. And that's where he's at.
Good for him.
Getting a paycheck from TSN because they've got a lot of money because they didn't win the national TV rights. So there's that. Yes, you're on. Cam Talbot is injured too, so that means David Leneveu, the third guy on the totem pole.
Oh.
And
Whatever happened to Dan Blackburn?
I think he's actually part of the alumni association for the Rangers.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, he used two blockers for a while there.
That was almost the Freudian slip.
How about that? Two blocker pads for a while there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he couldn't lift. He still can't lift his right arm to make a glove, or his left arm to make a glove save. So he just said, "All right, well, I got to stay like this."
I bet you that would hinder your professional hockey career.
A little bit.
Yeah.
If you can't lift your glove above your shoulder, it's kind of hard. So yeah, there's that. The last appearance for Danny Blackburn was the Winter Classic alumni game. Rangers Flyers. He was out there. It was good times had by all.
Wow, I did not know that.
all. Yeah, he was hanging out there. He had the dual blocker on and everything.
I feel like he just walks around with those on now.
Why
Like
wouldn't you?
He's like former NHL goalie Dan Blackburn. He's like part of infomercials.
Hi, I'm Dan Blackburn here for the dual blocker. And it's just sunglasses, but
And it could be multiple though. He could do the dual blocker sunglasses, but he could also work with the oven mitts
that is true.
by the same name probably.
Here you go. Here's Dan Blackburn at the alumni game at Citizens Bank Park. The dual blockers in full effect.
That's Photoshop.
What?
That's clearly Photoshop. He's
How
not
is-
there.
What?
He's not there. Look at the way the light reflects off his helmet. That's not real.
That's not the realist. of
No, and
realists.
his his throat shield isn't even properly aligned.
You're not properly aligned. Here you go.
Photoshop.
Here's another one. Booyah.
Photoshop. Look, his throat shield still isn't on right.
Yeah, because he's making a save, Mark. Look, he's all fancy. He's got a
His
glove
knee
that's a
is
blocker.
clearly not bent properly.
That I will agree with you. That's kind of freaky right here. But hey, don't worry. Dr. Recchi is right here to look after him.
Look at Dan Blackburn go.
God bless him.
Wasn't Dan Blackburn one of the first people we've ever saw drafted? He was drafted in the Florida draft, I believe, with I think he was.
I think that's just all you, brother.
Oh yeah, I was there.
We weren't to Florida. Here's the oh come on, don't do this to me. Don't you do this to me, you son of a bitch. You sons
no.
of bitches.
Pearls before swine. What is that picture above the using two catchers, a goalie experiment? What is that? What does that have to do with Dan Blackburn? Or is this the double blocker?
Hold on, is that two? Is that two girls? What is that? Is that a double blocker?
Mark, that was brilliant. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
I
this
think
is
that's the double blonde.
this is the glove that he used, and this is the inside of the glove that he used. It's like an oven mitt. It really is.
See, I told you.
Perfect. Brilliant, Jerry. Brilliant.
Do you have a hockey fan that likes to cook?
It goes perfect with those grilling utensils that are made out of composite sticks that are broken.
Yes! Get him the double blocker.
The double blocker. They're blue blockers / oven mitts.
Dan Blackburn approved. 50% off the top.
Dan
Boom.
Blackburn played for a team called the Victoria Salmon Kings, lest we forget. which is just a brilliant idea.
That could have actually just been him using that to catch fish.
Oh, that'd be great. If they're swimming upstream, just grabs them,
Yeah, just grabs him out of the water with his double blocker thing.
throws them right on the grill.
Obviously, because he's already got the grill bits, and he could see the fish better coming up the water because of the glasses.
Perfect.
Boom.
Done.
This infomercial writes itself.
Isn't it? Why
The
are
only
why
thing
are we?
that we have to do is shoot a cannon through it and then put it back together with Flex Seal.
So that the boat's back in mint condition.
Well, yeah, I mean it floats.
Touche. Dan Black. Please tell me danblackburn.com is Dan Blackburn's website.
Yes.
Oh, we lost John.
Oh, Johnny's freezing.
Am I? Oh, I'm still here.
And Mark's not under Face Off Hockey Show.
I'm just not
Nope.
moving.
So if he goes, we go.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Okay. He's still there.
Yeah,
Whatever you say, John.
Am I really
Yeah,
freezing?
you're just kind of. You're stuttering.
That's normal.
He's like Max Headroom over there.
Oh god.
You were stuttering there for a bit. Okay, well, good.
I'm back.
Drop. It's like you were going through the tunnel. So that's fine. We're back.
Okay, good. Whew. Thank God. That could have been bad. We would have had to start the show over, do all the pictures again.
Meh.
Eh, eh.
Well, no. If you would have logged off, it just said, "Please hold on momentarily," and then it would have went back to live.
Meh.
Meh.
I was smart enough to turn off the banners this week,
Well, that's good.
I believe.
Which I think was odd because of the fact that you probably set it up that the banners were gone, but the minute that your section dropped off, Mark didn't change it to the banners being off, and then it was just a whole fracas.
Yeah, I don't know. I think when I came back in, it wasn't set to be off. So. Oh well.
Point is this: hey Google, how about we just have one uniform thing?
Yeah, and tell me something, Google. Who is it that actually does something on Google Hangouts and wants their viewers to see the crap going on in the corner?
That is true. I'm very with the advent of this video thing. I'm very self-conscious about what I do when I'm not talking, because you guys can see it, and that is often referenced after that. So.
Well, it's a lot different than when we used to call Lyle on the phone, and I'd be doing the show while I was peeing in the bathroom.
That's true.
Can't
That
do that
was fun.
anymore.
No,
I mean, I could. I have a long enough cord. I could just go out the back.
don't brag.
Yes. I get a penis joke.
No, yeah, good. Hey guys, guess what's 2 weeks from now?
The Big
The
Stand
world-
Invitational.
There it
Oh.
is.
Yeah, I guess it is.
If the guy called me back, because I've sent 2 emails and I've called in the 2 weeks since I sent the mock of their T-shirts, and have heard nothing back, so we may or may not have T-shirts for this.
Excellent. It's coming together perfectly.
Yeah, this whole June has gone to hell in a handbasket right now.
This is a typical face-off hockey show June, ladies and gentlemen.
Fuck off.
What can you do? But yeah, no, Big Stand Invitational, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today.
So what are the odds that Mark comes to the Big Stand Invitational but forgets to bring his bowling shoes?
75%. I'd say.
That's gonna be the first thing that I pack. It's shoes and then camera equipment, then everything else. And then hope for the best.
You're not bringing a ball?
No, God, no, I couldn't get that through custom.
Does Stan have a ball?
He does. I should tell him. I should tell him to fish it out.
You should use Stan's bowling ball for the Big Stand Invitational.
Oh God, my mom would kill me, so I'm gonna tell her. My mom would kill me, so I'm just gonna tell her. Listen, tell Dad to get his bowling ball out. We're gonna make this happen.
Why would she kill you? You
She's
think
like-
would she be more mad that you invite Stan or that you use his bowling ball?
Yes.
Excellent.
You know, we have to dig all the way through both attics to find that thing. We don't know how long it's been since he's used it. It might not be worth anything. And our dog's a racist. All right, Mom, I didn't even ask about the dog.
Your dog is a racist. How'd that happen?
Yeah, it is. I've seen it in action.
It's quite fantastic. They have like a pit bull boxer mix. It's an adorable mutt. Way too excitable though for its own good. But like it barks and it wags its tail and it's all happy and shit because it's happy to see you. Except for if you are apparently someone of color, and then she just goes dog shit insane, literally, and tries to bite your head off.
I get it. Dog shit insane.
There it is. Like, it's not the playful stuff that she does where she barks and her tail's wagging a mile a minute. She literally gets, like, apparently on her haunches ready to attack. And I'm like, wow, Stan spent way too much time with this dog. Again, which is funny because the little ones are of a mulatto persuasion. There's the word.
Good.
That is
That's
the
the
word.
word.
That is one of the words.
Grease is the word too. So there's that. But yeah, no, the dog's hilarious. So who knows? I'll ask Dad. I'll email him direct and say, hey, listen, if you have your bowling ball around, just leave it by the doorway. I'll knock 3 times. I'll pick it up.
I'll knock 3 times.
I'll knock 3 times. No one's gonna be home. I'll knock 3 times anyway. That's a lie. School's over by now for Mom, so she doesn't.
Somebody will definitely be home.
Exactly. If not, I'll just pay off the dog to hang out. Say, hey, dog, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. So, yeah. And
What's up, dog?
I know.
You could
I
stay
know
here too, by the way, if you
What's
really
that?
needed. You could stay here too if you really needed to.
No, I am. That's the plan.
Okay, good.
I'm not staying there because there's like 75,000 people in that house.
Nice.
So,
And then Mark will probably stay here after the Big Stand Invitational
obviously.
because the World Cup game's the next day, and we will be drinking all day.
See.
After the Frank's Den run that night.
Oh God, we might have to get a cab.
Or we can just stumble the half a mile.
It's not a half a mile. We had this conversation last time.
It's 16 feet, all right?
First of all, I just said it's a mile from my house to get to Route 2. Although I did find a back way that I could get to Target through like this adjacent community to mine, which I did not know was there until I went for a longer run last week.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel about life?
I feel great that I can get to Target without having to go on Route 2.
Are you talking Route 2 or Route 3?
Route 3. Damn it,
Okay,
why do I
I-
keep saying that?
I knew he meant Route 3 because Route 2 is really far away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Route 2. Yeah, that's
far away
Richard
from me.
Highway.
Yeah, Route 3. Definitely Route 3.
Okay.
5 minutes to Wapner.
All right. Short Curve Road. Let's see if Frank's Den is.
Frank's
Frank's Den,
Den-
Crane. Beautiful.
Frank Ted's 5 miles.
First off, Frank's Den. 1.5 miles from your house to Frank's Den.
1.5? How does it get there? How does it take me to get there? Does that mean it's only a half a mile from where the... Can you pull the Google map out of my neighborhood and come up to the top of like where the Exxon station is?
Hold on. Let's go through this right now. I went short. I didn't go your direct address, so don't worry. But here you go. Right here. Go up, out, around, and boom, you're right there. It's
Oh.
a mile and a half.
So that really is only a half a mile because it's a mile from my house to get out to Route 3. Pull the address that you have at the bottom. There should be a circle. Pull that all the way out to Route 2.
This one,
Yeah.
or the Frank's Den one.
No, that one. The one at where my house is. Just pull that straight out to Route 2.
Or Route 3.
Route 3. Damn it, why do I keep doing that?
Yeah, 0.9 miles from that to Frank's Den. So it's a half a mile from the house to your house to Crane Highway.
Wow. I thought it was 0.9 miles from... Oh, it's because I go around. I
Yeah.
run a different route. That's how I get it to a mile out front. I don't come straight out of the community. So
There
yeah,
you go.
that doesn't make sense, actually, no. A mile and a half?
All right,
we,
so
we can walk that easy.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. We take surface streets and we just go walk by the Giant.
This is gonna be great.
Maybe break into Gabe's. Who's to say? Go to the aquatic center, take a swim late night. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yes, this is awesome. I also fully, I fully love how I don't know of anything that's around my house. By the way,
But first off, how far did you think it was to Frank's Den?
I thought it was at least 3 miles, probably more than that.
Fun fact: we can also go to Hardee's because the dining room's open 24 hours.
It's true, and it's right across the street. Oh, we
It's
could
right
end
across the
this-
street.
Are you saying that we could end the night of the Pig Stand Invitational Bowling Extravaganza with a Monster Burger?
Fuck yeah, we can. We wouldn't have it any other way. 'Cause
God, I'm gonna die in my sleep.
You really are, because the Hardee's is right here. It's right over, right where this thing, right before the Paul Pitcher Memorial Highway, aka 100.
Oh, you also have to take off a little bit of distance because they force you to make a U-turn in order to get back into Frankston.
Exactly. So essentially,
It's not even 1.5 miles.
essentially, if you look at it here, it's about I don't know what this is, 10 meters.
I mean,
It's
that's
about
at least
10
3 inches.
Again, stop bragging. And there's also Popeyes here. I don't know how late they're open to, but no
should-
stars.
We should, yeah, I don't know if I want to go to that Popeyes. We should ask Sean how far away Frankston is from us.
Frank's Den, out of 5 reviews, gets 4.5 out of 5 stars.
As it should. Can we read some of those?
Oh God, goddamn, we are. Frank's Den has got a Google Plus Hangout website, by the way.
We should
Today it's open 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. and that's just the liquor store. 8:30 in the morning for the fucking liquor store? Really?
Why wouldn't it open at 8:30?
Why
Target's
would
not
you-
even open.
Why? Exactly. You can't even hang out. All right, here we go. All reviews. Greg Mex, owner was there, told me about an upcoming tasting event. Is ordering wine in special that I was looking for. 5 stars. That was,
Upcoming tasting event, I bet.
that was a year ago. Dana Semenoff, no review, just gave it 5 stars and dropped the mic. 3 years ago, a Google user said the staff is very helpful and knowledgeable, and the store is well stocked with a great variety. I've never not found what I was looking for in Frank's Den, whether it be Mad Dog or Grey Goose, Seagram's or Sangria, etc. Great place.
Whether it was Mad Dog or, all right, what's something expensive I could write in here? Grey Goose.
Here we go. A Google user 4 years ago says, a liquor store and a bar combined? Who would have thought? This combo just makes something here, just makes coming here the more appealing. The more appealing? Really? All right. I came in to pick something up for the weekend and asked Gregory, the owner, what he recommended, and he suggested their newest liqueur, TYKU. It certainly looked appealing, though. I was hesitant at first and only bought 1 bottle. After getting home, I tried mixing it with a bunch of mixers, and they all went together really well. I can't wait to go back and pick up some more. Thanks, Gregory. 5 stars.
Nice.
This place is the best, and not one review has mentioned the Dart Room, which I would think would maybe put it over 5 stars.
By the way, franksden.com, still looking,
Oh.
still waiting to launch.
Boo.
But you can call them at this number and just hang out.
This is awesome. If anybody's in the area on Wednesday, what is that, the 25th? Yeah, you should come to Frankston.
Trust me, I'll be doing Google email blast and Facebook blast and Twitter blast saying, listen, if you're in the Anne Arundel County area, we'll track our thing and we'll tell you. DM us if you want, because then we will tell you where to go next.
We should get Trista to come down to the Anne Arundel County. She knows her way around.
Yeah? How does she know her way around? Because
she's taken pictures of it, and we have told her where everything is.
That's what I was going at. We have told her where everything is already.
I'd say. She get out of Delaware, she'll be fine.
We have to pay that toll.
Yeah, nah, just the Bay Bridge toll. She's actually by Rehoboth.
Oh, wow. That would be a hell of a drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, how much is tolls nowadays? Think of this about my trip to Philly. Like $87 Both ways.
Well, so Easy Pass. Well, you'll be driving, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking a ferry.
Make
Just gonna get a ferry in Inner Harbor and hope for the best.
It might be tough when you get to Havre de Grace, but. So.
I'll just say I know Cal Ripken. They'll let me through.
So it's $4, and then the Perryville I Want to Gamble toll is that like $8 now? I don't know. It's a lot. And then the Get Out of Delaware or Get Out of Maryland toll at Delaware is like $4. You're probably looking at like $16 in tolls. But then you don't have to pay the Perryville toll on the way home because they realize that after you've gambled you don't have any money left, so they let you drive through.
It's going to be a gamble when you get to the Bay or you get to the Harbor Tunnel, so we're just going to let you by.
Yeah, so it might be a lot, to be honest.
Well, fucking A. Scotty Waz is going on an adventure up to Philly, ladies and germs, so that's going to be a hoot.
Yeah, Sean Leahy didn't think I was going to be in Philly.
Yeah, I didn't know if you guys were going or not.
Well, I mean, we have hotel rooms. I don't know if Mark and Brittany are going. I'll be going because I think one of the nights I'm going to write off as a referee expense now.
Excellent.
Because I have to go to national camp. So that Saturday, I think I might just write off as a sorry, I cut myself out. As a referee expense. I may do it the night before, too, for all I care.
You know what? We'll talk about refereeing at Lucha Cartel on Friday night.
Yes.
Which, by the way, great place for a Mexican restaurant. Lucha Cartel, fantastic.
Yes. I almost bought a United States luchador mask. They have them on soccer.com.
Do they?
Of course they do.
You should check out all the World Cup gear. It's badass. They have a replica World Cup trophy that I think would look awesome in my house. But they definitely had... So they had USA, Mexico, and Germany luchador masks.
Interesting. It's quite the combination.
Yeah. If you ever need a luchador mask, look at soccer.com. Jen should look at soccer.com. She wanted a luchador mask recently. I think she was going to do something else with it, but...
Yeah, she was just basically going to use it to scare people with.
That's what I use mine for.
I use mine for when I want to go into the ring. Because I'm there for battle.
So Speaking about luchador masks, I watched Ring of Honor. Apparently, it was in Baltimore recently.
It's based out of Baltimore. Sinclair Broadcasting owns it.
So is that the Baltimore channel on Fios that shows it all the time? Because of that?
WBFF, yes.
Yeah. All right. So I watched some of it. I didn't watch a whole lot. Thought it was kind of weird.
It's cool. I like Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has always been a decent company.
Okay.
And they fight out of Burns Arena too.
Oh, nice.
They do their TV.
That was
taping out of
Burns?
there. Yeah.
Oh, it's all blacked out.
Yeah, exactly. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
They do it. They do it out of there. It's fantastic.
Interesting. I bet you that's the wrestling stuff that Dad was mad about at Myers Pavilion too.
It was the same stuff. Death and Bailey went to go see that at Myers Pavilion.
Perfect.
Yes. That looks delightful, Scotty. I think I might go get a soda of my own.
Go get yourself a refreshment and perk yourself back up.
But you didn't do the after you were done. Wait, is that copyrighted? Do we have to pay Coca-Cola something now?
No, I don't think so. I think we're fine. We didn't have a polar bear, so we're good. While you do that, I'll buzz through. Yet. I'll buzz through the news real quick then.
News?
Yeah, we got news. I realize this as it's 6:12 and Lyle's about to come on.
Right. It's true. We just burned an hour talking about nothing. It was awesome.
We talked about Dan Blackburn and Frank's Den. Which I think, honestly, this is one of our best summer shows yet.
They go hand in hand, to be honest. Let's put it that way.
And you know what? I'm already in off-season mode, so I couldn't care less right now.
It's true. It's sad. I will say, before you get to that, Stanley Cup Finals, the Cup Finals has been fantastic from what I watched. It's like watching hockey when I was a kid again. It's all back and forth. There's no trapping going on. I mean, the puck's just up and down the ice, goals being scored in the last second of games or periods. Like, it was awesome what I've seen so far.
Yeah, it has been a great series. I mean, aside from Game 3, which wasn't close, and LA got all the bounces, and Jonathan Quick was standing on his head. It's been a really good series. Just shows this also goes to show how much this is a playoff where you can't hold a lead. New York Rangers were up 2-0. They had two 2-goal leads in games 2, and still couldn't hold on to them. And now they're down 3-0 as game number 4 underway right now. Look at you go, refreshing.
So I have a report.
And your report is this:
there was a polar bear.
Oh my God!
That was my polar bear report.
You know, he's in a bowling league, and we should tell him to come out.
Okay.
No, he doesn't count as part of the scores then.
David P. like Comey does have a 130 average, so I think we're just fine.
Oh, well, okay. I can bowl that once.
I averaged 117 last time I was out. I'm like, that's pretty terrible.
I think my high game recently has been 152.
Nice.
Yeah. Had a good run of things.
I got a 5-pin bowling engagement this Friday.
5-pin?
Yeah, it's really weird, and it's bullshit, but it's Canadiana, so I'm going.
I thought the Amish did everything 1.5 times.
Hey, you. Now the exchange rate, 10 pins goes to 5 pins.
Oh.
It's a brutal economy.
Ball smaller?
It's a duck pin ball, and like kind of duck pin pins.
So they don't call them duck pins, though.
No, but the pins are on strings, and they got bumpers on them. It's the weirdest shit you've ever seen in your life.
Why are the pins on strings so you can get them back up again? Is that why?
No, it's because it's one of those DirecTV commercials.
Yes. Wait, what?
Strings are ugly.
5-pin bowling.
I don't think Scotty gets that up there. They don't have satellites pointed toward Canada yet.
Not yet. Soon, but not yet. So here is come on, you son of a bitch. A typical. Alright, I guess they took them off the strings. I don't know. It's weird. The point is they have a lot of bumpers on them. Like, not even the bumpers down the lanes. That's the shit part about it, is they just have bumpers on them. Why can't I find a good enough goddamn drawing, you sons of bitch? Alright. View image. And here is what it looks like. Doing a lot of visual stuff that people on iTunes are going to hate it. So here you go. You have the bumpers right here on the pins, on the fat little duck pins, a little duck pin ball, and it's a great time had by all.
That's totally photoshopped. You can tell there's only 5 pins.
Yeah, yes, that's the point. The head pin is worth 5 points, the 2 beside it are worth 3, and the end pins are worth 2.
There's no way that anybody could have made a split like that, especially not on all 3 lanes that you're looking at.
That's why you have 3 turns to get it if you don't get a strike or a spare. You get strike, spare, or 15 count.
How do you get well, I guess if you knock the pin one way and the ball goes the other way, you could get a strike. That's how you have to do it.
Yeah, physics. Hashtag physics.
You know what would be awesome? Now that we're talking about things with bumpers and bowling.
If we do a game just bowling and bumpers?
No. You remember bumper pool? Where it had all the random bumpers in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think bowling alleys should have like bumpers like in the middle. And you have to figure out like.
Uh-oh.
We used to play bumper pool at almost every single wrestling event that we ever went to.
Of course.
It's true.
Because everybody seemed to have a bumper pool table, but not a regular pool table. Also, you and I used to play like. It wasn't bumper pool, but it was
like stick hockey where the goal is actually like behind the thing.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
If you hit it correctly, you could bounce it off the backboards and then off of the defender and in the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what it was, but we had like little sticks that were like this big with like a little rubber nubbin on the end of it.
Oh, like I think knock hockey it's called?
Maybe.
Sounds like that.
I don't know.
I would say that like bumpers in the middle of the lane is like some Mario bowling shit.
Oh.
So.
Well, I mean, you put up bumpers so there are no such thing.
That would be bowling blue shells and red shells.
If it was Mario, you could use one of your balls to knock the bumper off of and then just shoot straight.
That's true.
Or not.
I'd just get one of those chomp chomps and have it go straight down the center every time.
There you go.
Ha.
I like it. Let's
Back
get
to
to some
hockey.
news real quick. Fire through. What? Yeah, fire through this real quick. Pittsburgh Penguins hired Jim Rutherford as their new general manager, and then by proxy fired Dan Bielsa. They're obviously figured new culture change, so we're just going to let Dan Bielsa just go ahead and have himself a time and lose a lot of jobs in the process. So
Yeah, but the Florida Panthers are still out there.
he's interviewing with the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers also interviewing Ron Wilson because Ron Wilson.
Because iPods.
Yeah, because of reasons. Edmonton hired Craig Ramsey as their assistant coach. Calgary hired Craig Conroy and Brad Pascal as assistant GMs. Kevin Miller, former Detroit Red Wing, ordered to pay $1.6 million for ending a player's career in the Swiss League after hitting him from behind in a violent fashion.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, the Detroit court upheld a Swiss verdict, and he is ordered to pay. It was originally 1.1, but with interest and lawyer fees, 1.6 million.
I can't imagine he makes that much money in a year in the Swiss League.
You can make a good hunk of change in the Swiss League. Mostly
hell
in
of a
chocolate,
fine.
though. Well, yeah, they have their banks there are crazy too.
That's true.
And yeah, Kevin Miller's been out of hockey for a while, so I hope he has a nice payroll for himself. Competition committee recommended several changes, including the possibility of a coach's challenge, review of goal interference, extending the trapezoid, not eliminating it, making it bigger, because that's a great idea. Changing ends during overtime, cracking down on embellishment, and making the hash marks a little bit wider apart to lessen scrums during something else. Also, one of the rules is that if a player gets deliberately thrown out of a face-off circle after an icing, he will be charged for delay of game rather than it just being the second time through. So that's being offered up. Whether or not they get a ratified or not is going to be the question for the Board of Governors meeting this summer, and then taken to the NHLPA to give an approval, and away we go. On to the next one, much like JZ. Like I said, Mark
I think
33.
that,
What?
uh,
You're going through a tunnel.
Or gets thrown out. I haven't changed anything. I think that they should do instead is if the player gets thrown out, they should just push the puck back to the defenseman and then start from there, like they do on lacrosse.
That's true, but it'd be an offensive possession. So yeah, push it back to the defenseman, start the power play up that way, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you have to think, the
I like
player
that better.
that's deliberately getting sent out of something has to be a defensive player, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you throw it back to the offensive. They already gained the zone, and away we go.
Yeah, easy. Don't add more penalties that people can bitch about.
Yeah, that's true. That's we don't need. We have enough rage on Twitter. We don't need more.
I've already started muting people on Twitter that use the "Is it October" hashtag.
Those people are the worst people. That's why I mute the hashtag on my tweet deck. It's fantastic. It's great. I love it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Unless TweetDeck gets hacked.
Yeah, like it did today. Boy, howdy, that was something. It's like, this is craziness. What are we doing, guys? It was so crazy. You're retweeting things I don't want to retweet. It's all pornography. And I'm like, wait, I did want to retweet that. Hold on a second. Away we went. Mark, 33% on his over-under. Hoping to make it an even 50% tonight.
Woohoo!
Even himself up on that over-under. What was it, 4.5?
Yes, I believe I set the over/under at 4.5, which was silly because the four goals leads. I should have set it at 5.5. First of all, because it's a higher score. And second of all, because 4 could be a tie, and clearly it's not going to end in a tie. So I essentially gave 1.5 points instead of just 0.5 point.
And this is why you couldn't be a bookie anymore.
Yeah.
It's just that purpose alone.
Yeah.
You had quite the racket going on there, man. Ife is your strong man. It was great.
Say what now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's another thing we should do Thursday morning. Go to St. Joe and raid the Stromboli.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure St. Joe's closed.
They're not open, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's school's over. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it anyway.
Done.
Let's just go back there and say, hey, listen, make a Stromboli. The hell with these inner city youths.
You know all their names still.
I think Miss Hope is still there. Fish knew all the names because he's Fish. He just knew everyone's name. He was like Norm.
It's the reverse Norm.
He's reverse Norm.
Everybody knew Norm's name.
Yes.
Right?
Fish is Cheers because Cheers is the place where everyone knows your name. So
Yeah, was Norm the bartender? I thought Norm was George Wendt. I thought Norm was the guy.
George, yeah, Norm was George Wendt. But when he walked in, everyone was like, no, because he's an alcoholic independent.
Right, but yet it was a comedy about people going to the bar all the time. Then again, so was How I Met Your Mother.
That's true. That's also having to do with sexual stuff too. So that's like double whammy: alcoholism and sexual deviancy with possible traces of STDs.
Yeah, the pineapple situation or whatever that was called. Oof.
Yeah.
You don't want to know what happened there.
Boy, howdy. Yeah, he walked in, everyone's, hey, Norm, you're an alcoholic, but we love you. Hey, Norm, how are you still here and your liver's not dying?
Yeah.
Those sorts of things. It was a good time had by all, what was it, Ted Danza. Ted Danza? No, Ted Danson. Ted Danza would be great. A mix between Ted Danson and Tony Danza.
I think that's one of the guys Mark's going to draft.
It's true. You got to get your mock draft ready for this. Oh my God, what are we doing kind of thing. Our EA Sports fantasy hockey garbage. Penis. I don't know what's going on. All right. Any other thoughts on Stanley Cup finale, Mark? You been watching?
I am not watching the finale. I'm following along talking to my Rangers fan friend, Connor, who says he has 9 beers in the fridge and he doesn't think he's going to survive the game.
Well, that's something. It's not even Game 7. It's Game 4.
Sounds like a normal night.
True.
I do like how everyone's trotting out the Capitals getting swept as the last time that it's ever occurred. And then I had to watch videos of Esa Tikkanen miss open nets.
But did you watch the video of him asking where the banana hot dog is?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
It made me smile.
Where is the banana hot dog? Back in 2012, he did a string of hot dog commercials in Finland, and they were the greatest things ever. It made up for him missing that open net in his stupid broomball helmet.
Boo. All right, so if we have a lot of trades, I'll get Lyle on.
We have a lot of trade rumors there. A lot of them breaking just as we go on the air. We might have to push back our discussion about veteran backups until next week. By the way, this time next week we will definitely have a Stanley Cup champion because Game 7 will be on Wednesday. So should the Rangers push through and win the next 3, then boy howdy. But by next week, it's all bowling coverage all the time here on Face Off Hockey Show. We'll get our bowling moderators in.
Football and bowling.
Football. Football is Brazil. Brazil is the club.
We're going to be all bowling and crab cakes.
You just offended everyone in Brazil with what you just said.
Cup
I'm not quite sure what it was, but it was offensive.
Cup do Mundo Brazil. I think the best part is just hearing the calls from hold on. There is a who's the British announcer who's widely revered? The British
Surrey
color.
and Dark.
That's not it. That's not it.
Surrey and Dark.
That's a made-up name.
Ian Dark.
Don't be racist.
Are you talking about the hockey thing?
The hockey thing.
The hockey thing. Hi, Lyle.
The hockey thing.
Hey, hockey thing.
I don't think he's the announcer that did the hockey thing. He was a comedian, right? Is it John
you're talking
Oliver?
about that guy? I thought you were talking about the actual announcer that everyone loves.
The guy who Messi said he said Messi's moves are orgasmic.
Oh, that's Ray Hudson.
Yeah, there's a Ray Hudson soundboard.
No way.
Yes, there is.
We are definitely using that on the show for the Wednesday before the draft.
And if I can find it, it's gonna be great.
I'll find it. We'll find it. We have 2 weeks.
Found it.
Oh, look at Scotty go.
Ray Hudson soundboard. Oh.
I knew where it was at, and I just needed to. God, I hope I don't know if we can hear it. I don't know, and I hope to God. Oh, what are you doing, Score? Fuck you. Like, honestly, I don't care.
During the show, we'll set up the laptop through the music spot, and then we can play the soundboard clips.
Interesting. Let me see if. Can you hear that? No.
No.
Barely hear it. Yeah.
No one heard anything. That was just through my speakers. All right. Well, Lyle, your thoughts on this Stanley
Your
Cup?
thoughts on Ray Hudson?
Your thoughts on Ray Hudson, and then your thoughts on this.
I have no. Is he a member of one of the Hudson brothers? I have no
I'm
thoughts.
pretty
on Ray
sure
Hudson.
he played a Ghostbuster.
He's on.
There you go. Oh, he with the Black Ghostbuster.
All right, Lyle. I don't see color.
Yeah, you do.
But I
You know
don't.
that was supposed to
Because he's colorblind.
That was supposed to be Eddie Murphy, but he turned it down.
Yes, I read that. That 25 things you did not know about Ghostbusters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray
Well, he wouldn't have
Hudson's
been. I don't think he was well suited for that role. That was much more of a supporting role. When they wrote it at the time, I think when Dan Aykroyd wrote it at the time, Eddie was still, I believe, in his during his Saturday Night Live days. He just starting to come into his own in movies. That would have been you got to think though. Imagine though how different that movie would have been if it had been John Belushi in the role instead of Bill Murray, and Eddie Murphy as the Black Ghostbuster.
Been interesting, that's for sure.
What is his name? What is his name?
It's
Everybody
Winston.
just knows him as, the Black Ghost, Ernie Hudson. Everybody knows the actor's name, but I'm not the actor's name.
Stop talking.
His character's name.
I can think of it.
It's Winston.
It's Winston.
Winston. There you go. Winston.
Winston
So,
Hudson or something like that.
okay, so in order to remember that, I'll have to, every time I think of that character, I have to think of Churchill. Gotcha. Yes, these Ghostbusters will be the finest. Which would be weird, Winston Churchill's voice coming out of Ernie Hudson's body.
Winston.
You know, I think it'd be fitting to be quite honest with you.
Not Winston. Or I said Winston Budston. It's like Black Hudson.
Winston, Budston.
Busy, busy, bop.
That was the last time the all of New York rallied for anything outside the Rangers going to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Could you imagine if Ghostbusters got the Statue of Liberty to start walking down Broadway? They could definitely win 4 games in a row.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
the Statue of Liberty started walking down Broadway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My favorite word of the day, actually, favorite word of the week. I recently did a radio interview, and every time they asked me a question, I always started it with absolutely. So I'm Lyle Absolutely Richardson.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
If you can turn it into like an absolute vodka thing, then you'd be.
Oh, well, there you go. I got to contact Absolute, but which though, but
get
that'd be lying though because I fucking hate vodka. But there you go.
All right. Well, we can't.
I'm a Scotch and beer man. Come on, known to occasionally imbibe in rum. Come on.
Wow, the absolute people aren't gonna like that.
I don't care. I don't like them.
Like it, Lyle.
I don't like them. But if they gave me lots of money, I would fall in love with them in a heartbeat.
See, now you got it.
Of course, of course. The principled Lyle says, I would never do an advertisement for that, for a product I don't believe in. The practical, greedy son of a bitch Lyle says, show me the money! I will flog whatever you want for money.
Whoa, hey. Hey.
I am not afraid to admit I'm a whore for money. I am not afraid to admit that.
Let's talk.
I know what I am, okay?
Let's ease on the flogging, is what I'm just saying. That's all I'm trying to say. Lyle.
Not into flagellation, eh, there, Scotty? Okay.
No, what did you just call me?
I will stump for a product I believe in. Beach chair locker.
Oh, what the hell? Did someone just favorite something I? All right, all right, someone just favorited something that I said in 2011. Rico Estrada making the Spangler Cup roster.
Is that the equivalent of? Wait, somebody searched Spangler on your. That's
Spangler.
Why.
Tremendous.
Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
Rico Fada.
He-Man. Oh no, I'm thinking Ghostbusters too. Yeah. What a horrible movie that was. Such a shame because the original Ghostbusters was and still is one of my favorite movies of all time. Mainly because of Bill Murray. I don't think I would have enjoyed John Belushi in that role.
You didn't
Bill
like
Murray.
Vigo the Destroyer?
There is no Dana, only Zool. What a marvelous singing voice you must have. Yes. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. What a marvelous singing voice you must have.
Good times.
Absolutely. See? Lyle's catchphrase for the year is one word. Absolutely. Are you an idiot, Lyle? Absolutely.
Oh, you drunk right now?
Absolutely. Clunk.
Honk.
French toast, please. Anyway. And the Rangers are on the board, ladies and gentlemen. The Rangers are on the board, but the goal, it looks like there may be some dispute. The referees are talking about it. The fans, of course, are going crazy because it's Madison Square Garden and they're all drunk. But anyway. Okay, I'm kidding.
They paid $4,000 for a ticket. We paid $28,000 for a ticket, and this is all we get. All right. So thoughts on the Stanley, the Coupe du Stanley, Lyle?
Very surprised that it's on the verge of being shut down. Coming to an end if the Kings win tonight. The first two games were just tremendous hockey, I thought, and the Rangers could have very easily have won those games as well. But Jonathan Quick, once you get to the old overtime period there, he turns into Jonathan Quick circa 2012, and and he was outstanding in Game 3, absolutely outstanding. I mean, they were outshot something I think 32-15 or something like that, and Quick with the shutouts. So I have to admit I was surprised by Game 3. Really wasn't too surprised by how the first two games went. Like I said, I expected that they would be close. It could have gone either way. But Game 3 was just, once Jeff Carter scored that late goal in the first period, it was you could just see the life go out of the building after that, and the Kings were off and running. So, going to be interesting to see what the response will be tonight. I mean, that the Rangers are going to fight hard tonight because they don't want to be eliminated and watch the Stanley Cup being paraded around by the Kings on their home ice. But good start here this evening. But they're in tight, that's for sure. It's
What would New Yorkers do if the Kings were skating the Stanley Cup around? Do you think they'd be
just wait 2 hours?
They'd be no different than what Flyers fans were 4 years ago when the Blackhawks were skating the cup around in their barn.
Drunk?
Yes.
I want to see it
But
happen.
they won't be violent. Everybody's expecting, they'll be violent, be right. No, they won't. They'll just sit there and applaud politely and then leave the building and get drunk. Get hammered.
kick their dogs?
Yeah. But
this Ray Hudson thing is a bust right now. It is not too fun for me.
We'll find it and play it during the World Cup.
I can just send you the link, and then we'll.
Okay.
There you
Then
go.
that makes it a lot easier for me to find it.
Booyah!
Booyah!
Not working on any device I try it on. Well, it does. It works on the computer, but you can't hear it because my headphones are plugged into the jack. So there is that.
Who's Jack?
Huh? Just a guy I know. Don't worry about it. Just got things. Talk about things.
Oh, excuse me.
Lyle, boy howdy, we've got a lot of trade rumors though. You know,
Mhm.
the Stanley Cup Finals not the hot thing. Seems that there's a run on centers in this rumor mill. First off, starting off, Joey Thornton. A lot of rumors around him. Of course, he's got a no move clause or no trade clause.
Full no movement clause.
Zero movement on the chicken fingers there, kids.
Mm-hmm.
But Toronto is oddly enough, one of the places he's linked to, and he said in quite the PR move that he will leave San Jose if the fans want him to. So obviously, we're putting it to a vote of San Jose Shark fans, and away they go to decide.
I say
if they're
yes.
Joe Thornton. What say you about this? Obviously, this whole thing in San Jose has to reach a tipping point sooner or later, and it seems that right now it has because they're retaining both GM and coach, and now the only thing that needs to change right now is the players. And one Dan Boyle already out of the fold. What happens next? Is Dan Boyle the first domino in this whole restructuring of the San Jose Sharks?
Well, I listen. I think that I think Doug Wilson would like to try, if possible, to perhaps convince Joe Thornton or Patrick Marleau, maybe even both, to accept trades. But let's face it, both those players. Wilson signed them both to 3-year deals, both of them with full no movement clauses. So if you want to turn around and try to move them, well, you put yourself in the situation. Don't be surprised if you can't move them. And Thornton's agent, who's also his brother, John Thornton, recently said that his brother's very happy in San Jose, doesn't want to play anywhere else. So I've heard the argument, well, yeah, but if they put enough pressure on him, if they say, look, we want to trade you, we don't want you here, so pick the teams you want to go to and we'll trade you. Yeah, that can work in some cases and has in the past, but in this instance, if Thornton doesn't want to move, he says, his brother says he wants to stay and wants to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. He wants to help the Sharks win a Stanley Cup. If that's the case, then there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that the Sharks will be able to do about it. They'll just have to suck it up and carry on. So, Thornton might be available, but Elliot Friedman brought up a good point too. If Thornton was to agree to being moved, you got to figure at this stage in his career, he's going on 35, doesn't have many playing years left, maybe 3, maybe another 5 tops. He's probably going to want to win a Stanley Cup at some point. So if he's going to agree to be moved, it's probably going to be to a cup contender, and that's not going to be easy to do, because if you look at all the really proven cup contenders that are there, I mean, Boston can't afford to take him on, nor will they probably take him back. The Thornton era that's long gone and done. Chicago probably love to have him playing on the same line with Patrick Kane, but that's not going to happen because there's just no cap space there to take him on. The Kings, they don't need him. So who's left? Not very many. So again, the Sharks may very well start the season with Jumbo Joe still centering their first or perhaps their second line.
Which is such a horrible thing to have.
Yeah, that's a problem you want to have, isn't it?
By the way, the person who favorited the Rico Fata tweet was Rico Fata. So,
yay!
That's awesome.
Rico lives.
Shout out to Rico Fata, who is now in the Sioux. Owner of Fast by Fata Hockey Academy.
Hey,
he loves goals.
I'd say. Fastbyfata.com.
I gotta tell you though, the best tagline I ever heard from a hockey player came from Eddie Shack, because Eddie Shack had a big nose, and so Eddie's tagline always was, he used to do what was called the Pop Shop here in Canada back in the 70s, and his commercials always ended, "'Cause I got a nose for value." Huh?
Did he do like a oh god, who was that guy who had a big nose and went ha cha 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 cha?
Jimmy Durante. He didn't do that.
You. No,
He didn't do that,
He
but he had a nose for.
should
It
have
was Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson. Knew it. Winston. Oh, he was the cigarette guy.
But he'll always be he's always known as the Black Ghostbuster. There you go. He is. There's nothing racist about that. He was the Black Ghostbuster. The rest of them are white. If anything, they discriminated against minorities.
Here's the thing: is that more discrimination, or the fact they remade a Honeymooners that wasn't Ralph Crandon proper?
Hold on, Lyle. 20% of the workforce at Ghostbusters is black. I think that's a pretty good average.
You know what?
No.
I would say more than that because Slimer's there and he's green.
That's true.
No, but you're thinking Slimer and then the Ghostbusters cartoon who was their ally in the movies, he was their enemy. So that doesn't count.
All right, fine. But you got the receptionist. You got the other 3 Ghostbusters.
White.
So that's 4, and then the 5th is black. That's 20%.
Yeah, and then the accountant guy who they eventually brought on for the second one was also white. So
right,
there you go. Huh?
He was a late hire because they were
late hire. Doesn't matter. What color was he?
He was a white guy.
I rest my case. Thank you. Thank you.
Hold on.
Still over 15%, though. That's still really good.
There were also no spirits that took over black people in the movie.
And all the spirits were white, too. Huh? They only tackled white ghosts. Except for Slimer, who was
but
green.
they killed them.
You don't kill
They
ghosts.
also killed a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man who was white too. So that was more white on white violence.
Very white.
Yes.
Plus, the Ghostbusters.
How did we make the leap from Joe Thornton to Ghostbusters and the Black Ghostbusters?
Well, my point is this, Lyle, is that in New York City it's so hard to find black people, and I think that's really the one. It was really hard to find another black guy, and luckily Ernie Hudson was there singing the Ghostbuster theme song. Like, hey, that's the name of our group, and you're singing a song about it, so you can either join us or we're going to sue you for gimmick infringement. So
that was Ray Parker Jr. though. So I'll give you that. Ray Parker Jr. was black and did the Ghostbusters theme song. So okay, I retract my earlier comment.
All right. There we go. See, Ray Parker Jr. on the team.
There you go. See, yeah, because in the music video for it, he was dressed as a Ghostbuster. So
and he's the one who and that's the thing that most people remember about Ghostbusters.
Well, that and the fact that Ray Parker Jr. stole basically the music for Ghostbusters from Huey Lewis' "I Want a New Drug" and was sued for that.
Yeah, but Lyle, listen, we all sampled that.
It's true.
But now, I mean, it's like the whole Vanilla Ice thing. Now Vanilla Ice owns the title to Under Pressure, so that's good. Good for Vanilla Ice. He's making money off of Under Pressure. How hilarious is that?
Yeah, one of the worst top hits that Queen ever made. So I'm pretty sure they're comfortable giving that up. I'm
NHL propaganda.
I'm sure they're comfortable giving that up. So anyway.
And then Vanilla Ice doesn't get sued all the time, so there's that too.
So there is that.
Shout out Vanilla Ice. Going from one goofy white guy to another, Jason Spezza.
Hey.
And apparently, rumors saying, and Ottawa Senators confirming that he requested a trade out of Dodge and. So now obviously Jason Spezza's name has been amongst the trade rumors, especially recently, and in the past as well. How much can Brian Murray swap him for? I guess is the real big. How much can GMBM number 1 swap him for?
Well, if we believe the Ottawa Sun, the asking price is believed to be a young player who can help them now, and a top prospect and a first-round pick. And I think that they might be able to get that. I'm not sure. I
think they're overvaluing Spezza.
Yeah, I think they are. But, I mean, it doesn't hurt to throw that out there, see how desperate some teams are. I don't blame them for doing that. You set that price, and then you bargain. There is interest in him. There is no question about that. The Anaheim Ducks are interested. The St. Louis Blues apparently made inquiries as well. They can afford to take him on. Both those clubs have the depth and young talent. They, and prospects. Plus, the Ducks also have the Senators' first-round pick, which is 10th overall. So they could also perhaps flog that back, because the Ducks, they're already very deep in young talent. So if they have to give that pick back to land somebody like Spezza to be their second line guy, I'm sure they could do that. Cap-wise, he makes $7 million, but salary-wise, actual salary, it's only $4 million. So, it can work that way. I'm sure that Spezza would not reject a trade to either of those clubs, because let's face it, both could be considered, legitimate cup contenders going into next season. And I certainly would like their chances with him on their team. I think that would certainly improve them. So, I think there's a market there, and it's not just those two teams as well. I'm sure other clubs are going to try and jump in there as well. But for now, those are the two they know for sure. There's talk Nashville would be interested in him for obvious reasons. Of course, they need to boost their offense. They're another team that has some depth and young talent that they can afford to part with. But I would say that it's probably the race is probably going to be between Anaheim and St. Louis at this point.
Quite the arms race right there. St. Louis looks like they're trying to shake. I mean, you have to figure. I mean, they're a team that obviously had high hopes, and they were very much disappointed in the playoffs. So I think they have to try to remove those demons, and should be interesting to see who gets.
Well, they're willing to. Well, they're in win mode. They're in win now mode. Win now, because let's face it, they built for a while. They've got and they're going to be set for a long time. They most of their core players, most of their core players are in their 20s, so they're going to be set for a while. They can afford to kind of go. That's why we saw them make the move for Ryan Miller this year, which didn't pan out. And I think that's why they'd be willing to to push to try and get Jason Spezza.
Plus, I feel like Ottawa should be asking a lot for Spezza, because this has to be the year that he wins the Calder, right?
It's true. It's a very good point.
Yeah.
He's been denied hardware so many times.
Especially that one award. The Calder is the thing that he is definitely up for every year.
I feel like he has to win that one year.
God, it's a joke that won't die. I love it. I love that Sean's jokes are still here even when he's not. So there's that. And finally, Jesus, another center.
The Kings scored? Oh.
Did they?
No, they came very, very close. Puck was right on the line. They couldn't jam it in. So it remains 1-0 for your New York Rangers. I'm just
Saturday nights.
I'm just getting into the swing of things because World Cup starts tomorrow.
From Brazil!
Yes, pay no attention to the economic strife and the hardship and the corruption that was going on. No.
The John Oliver bit's fantastic, though.
That was and he hit the nail on the head, because I agree with him. FIFA is a horrible, corrupt, disgraceful organization, but they give us the World Cup, which is so wonderful, and I'm just like, I hate you, but I love you. And
at any point when your rainy day fund has to be checked for swimming stuff. What a great line.
$1 billion is their float. Yes, we're a non-profit, but we have $1 billion. You have $1 billion. Yes, but that's a float. Yes, I would.
It was a contingency.
Yes, it's a contingency fund. Yes. Oh man!
I watched it 3 times back to back, and it's
a
13.5-minute video.
John Oliver is just, man, he's killing it over in HBO right now. That's a fantastic show he's got going there.
Hey, I saw his first episode, and I gotta say I thought it was a little shaky, but then again, it was his first episode.
Yeah.
Oh, so I gotta come back.
Oh, and the one he did on net neutrality last week. The week before, rather. That was well, they crashed the FCC website.
That's funny.
Yeah, he crashed. Yeah, he made an open call to all internet trolls to channel their rage for the first time in their lives, and channel their rage into something productive, and to go to the FCC website and leave their comments about net neutrality, basically why it's the FCC's efforts to kind of scrap net neutrality is bullshit. We don't have to worry about that in Canada yet. Stephen Harper and his crew are working on it, yes.
They got it. They got it under wraps, don't worry.
Oh, and their lair. Oh, God, I can't wait to vote that creep out of office. Anyway, that's just me.
All right, then.
Yes, our George Bush light.
Very late.
The only don't kid yourself. If he had a chance to go tromping off to war, he would. Bastard.
Well, if you had an army or navy or anything.
Excuse me.
Huh? Like I said, if you had an army, it'd be great.
He does. He does.
What?
He does.
What?
You're talking to a former member of it.
I thought you were Navy. I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway.
Point is
But
this.
anyway. But anyway.
Canada's the only country that got their freedom by asking properly. Nice.
And we're fiercely proud of that.
I guess so. I mean, we got plastic money. Can't rip. It's terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of plastic money. I listen. I embrace change, but you know, I like my change.
I can't rip this, Lyle.
I know.
I can't tear this.
Neither can I.
Can't tear this apart. No.
No. How am I supposed to split a 5? Anyway.
Exactly. I don't know. Ask 2 of our friends that are 2.5s.
Anyway.
Seriously, folks.
But seriously. So that's out of the way, and we talked about Thornton.
Castle Cavalier?
Le Cavalier. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, apparently Ron Hextall in doing his dirty work, putting his footprint on this team, apparently shopping around Mr. Le Cavalier after, is this second year with the Flyers or first year with the Flyers?
This is only his first year with them, yeah.
Wow.
Well, he was brought in on Peter Laviolette's recommendation, and then, of course, 4 games into the season, they axed Laviolette, brought in Craig Berube, and Le Cavalier just wasn't the right fit into the system that Berube's trying to play. So I don't fault Hextall to see if there's a market out there, see if somebody's willing to take him, but they're going to have to pick up some salary to do it, honestly, and you got to convince Vinny to waive his full no movement clause.
Man, I tell you, it's Vinny Le Cavalier is the guy whose stock dropped immensely just because of injury, and
well, he's 34 now. I mean, his best years are well behind him, and you're talking. I think correct me if I'm wrong. Another 4 more years at 4.5 mil.
4 more years. 4 more years.
Yeah, I mean, and I've heard like in the Philly media speculate. Well, maybe Laviolette will try and convince David Poile to bring because of course Nashville needs offense, and it's like, if David Poile actually makes that move, he either better be getting another good young player in that deal, or it's time to fire his ass, because that would be a horrible move. We are not talking Vinny from 5 years ago, okay? I mean, his best before date is past. And, I mean, for that amount of money that you'd be forking over for another 4 years, I mean, no. Like I said, I think Hextall's going to have I'm not saying that he won't be able to trade him. Maybe he might be able to, maybe a cap team, or, a team that needs to come up to the cap floor might be willing to take on that salary. But, again, Vinny's got to agree to go. And, I mean, at this stage in his career, I mean, is he going to want to go and play for a bottom feeder? I don't think so. He's going to want to go and play for a contender. And I don't see many contenders that are going to want to take on a 34-year-old center whose best years are behind him and also has now an injury history with 4 more years of $4.5 million a pop on his contract.
It's shocking that he's been in the league 16 years now.
Oh, I know. It's. I mean, yeah. I mean, we all remember when he joined when he was a young pup of 18. But yeah, he's been in the league a long time, and he's got the wear and tear to show it. He's still a skilled player, but he's definitely he's not a first line guy anymore. I don't even think he's capable of being a second line guy anymore. Not unless you pair him with some good supporting wingers.
I would almost liken him to what we were talking about Jarome Iginla last year in terms of he is so far out of the limelight right now that you have to have a good supporting cast around him in order for him to shine. So.
Yeah, and he's in a good situation in Boston, and I think he understands that. Just to touch on Iginla for a second, because the Bruins are reportedly in contract talks with him. Apparently they're interested in signing for another 1-year deal, another one with a base salary maybe around $1.82 million, and then some performance bonuses. That might bring him up to maybe $5 million or something like that. Iginla might be able to get a little more money elsewhere, maybe a 2-year deal. But he's going to be 37 on July 1st. He's running out of opportunities to win a Stanley Cup, and unless a team like LA or Chicago or St. Louis comes calling for him, or maybe Anaheim. and there's no fit for him in Anaheim because Anaheim needs a second-line center. They don't need a right winger. I think Boston's the best fit for him, and I think he knows this. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him resign to another one-year incentive-laden deal.
Would be interesting. Would be an interesting fit. I think he's happy there. They're happy with him. He knows his role. They know his role.
He played well last year.
He did play really well.
Yeah,
he did pretty well in the playoffs too.
Yeah. I mean, well, his playoff, numbers were down, but then again, the whole Bruins, there were a number of Bruins. Like, I mean, Lucic didn't play well. I mean, Marchand was horrible. He wasn't the only one who didn't have a particularly good playoff. But yeah, he hit 30 goals for I think the 12th time in his career. 60 points for I think the 13th time in his career, and those are impressive numbers when you think about that. So, he definitely enjoyed playing in Boston. They enjoyed having him there, so it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him resign to another one-year deal.
I did. I saw on Twitter today that James Murphy brought up a little tidbit about Marchand maybe being traded.
That's been floating around for a while. Well, basically for a month now since the Bruins got eliminated from the playoffs. It's been kind of suggested by some in the Boston media that Marchand could become trade bait, and it's understandable. I can see why they would say that. I mean, I think he's got another 3 years at $4.5 million per season left in his contract. He didn't have a good play. In fact, he didn't have a good season. I mean, he seemed lost without his his drinking buddy. Does he drinking buddy? I mean, his good friend Tyler Seguin. When he was dealt to Dallas last year, and I mean, he was another one. He had a horrible playoff, and I think his antics are starting to wear thin in Boston now too. I mean, they've been quite forgiving of him, since the 2011 playoffs. But I mean, some of the stunts that he was pulling this year or in this year's playoffs, I mean, it didn't work to his advantage. In fact, he wound up getting ignored by the officials, so that when actually a genuine penalty, somebody would genuinely say interfere with him or hook him or whatever or trip him, was ignored because the officials just, it's Marchand, he's diving again. So I think that some of the Boston media are starting to get a little tired of his antics. But could they trade him? I think it's possible. I mean, they definitely need to free up some salary there. They got Riley Smith they have to re-sign. Torrey Krug's another one. Of course, they got to look at re-signing Iginla. And while they'll get some cap relief by placing Mark Savard on long-term injured reserve, they can't do that until the start of the season. So there's going to be a definite need to move some salary now. Marchand, I mean, listen, if you put him on the block, despite his reputation as being a bit of a cheap shot artist, I mean, he is a proven performer. He's a good second-line winger, and I think there'd be a market for his services if they want to shop him.
Well, there's always a market for someone out there. I mean, let's be honest. There's always a team that's willing to take up something just because they think he's the next piece.
And sometimes, and sometimes we see players get traded that you sit there and you go, or signed, and you go, what the hell? Like, why would anybody take a chance on this guy? But it does happen sometimes. So, in Marchand's case, I mean, he's in his mid-20s. As I said, I mean, he still is he's still a decent second line winger, I think. I mean, despite his antics. So yeah, I think there'd be a market for his services. Absolutely, more of a market for Marchand, I think, than there would be for Vinny Lecavalier.
Everyone loves an agitator too. Everyone loves an agitator, except no.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Until their act gets old.
I will say that as being a referee, I can tell you many of times that you don't call fouls when the guy literally just dove 5 minutes in front of you.
Oh, well, after a while, I mean, you get that reputation. I mean, officials, they're only human, and in the case with Marchand, I don't blame them. I mean, when you dive and do your little cheap shots and things like that as often as Marchand has, you start to get that reputation around the league among the players and among the officials. So, if you actually do get it legitimately fouled, the officials are just going to go, oh, no, you were diving, So, reap what you sow, man.
Reap what you sow, man.
I think that's what Jesus said. Anyway,
I thought so. Pretty much. I think it was in Leviticus. Not really sure.
Is that Old or New Testament? I don't know.
It's not. I think it's more like middle school.
Okay, gotcha.
It was right before he got drunk off that water.
Ah,
that's true, man. He turned down for what indeed?
See, now if he turned water into vodka, that would have been more believable.
I agree.
But it had to change color, Lyle.
I
Either way, it's a true miracle.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good point. That's a good point.
All right. So the topic, the homework topic I gave you last week.
Mm-hmm.
Veteran backup goaltenders and the teams that could want them. It sounds like it's Sally Jesse Raphael's show from the mid '90s, but we'll go with it anyway. I'm looking at this list of goaltenders, and boy, is it something. I don't know what to make of it, and I don't know the odds and ends of it.
And I can't honestly. I mean, I looked around, and there's not this. Well, the goalie market as a whole, both for starters as well as backups. This is one of the worst one of the worst summers for goalies. I mean, it's not that there aren't any decent ones there, but there's not many destinations. There really isn't.
No, because you look at what Ryan Miller, he left, and yet they already filled it. They're going with Brian Elliott and Jake Allen. It seems the goalie tandem with two first names in each of the goaltenders, which means you can't trust them whatsoever.
But I mean, okay. I'll take a quick look. I mean, Boston, they could need a decent backup if they don't re-sign Chad Johnson. They could.
Who had an amazing season this year.
Yeah, they did. But there's kind of a. There's kind of a split opinion on him because some think, yeah, he had a good season, and but on the other hand, was that because he was playing for a really good team in front of him that had, there was.
I'm sure it doesn't hurt.
I'm sure it doesn't either. Boston might promote Malcolm Subban. I mean, that's been floated around, but Boston might need one if they don't resign Chad Johnson. Tampa Bay, I don't know. They since they signed I'm going to do my inner Don Cherry. Since they signed that Latvian kid there, because I can't pronounce his name, so I'm sorry, but since they signed the Latvian kid who stood on his head during the Olympics.
Gudlivski.
Yes, thank you. Detroit maybe if they don't re-sign Gustafsson, which they're apparently interested in doing. Toronto, if they trade James Reimer, they might need a backup. Looking. Philadelphia could use a backup if they don't resign Ray Emery. They could be in the market for a backup.
I will say that right now I'm hearing backup. Boston needs a goalie. Blah blah blah.
Eventually.
Boston needs a backup goalie. Get it right. They don't need a starter anymore. Yeah, no, they need.
Still a goalie,
I think it's back.
It might be. I'll tell you what. If they don't re-sign Chad Johnson by July 1st, then yes, it's officially back. I will.
All right,
yes.
we will put that on the market, kids.
You can put that on the board. I will accept that. Yes.
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 Here's a team, Lyle. Would Minnesota need a backup goalie, considering they don't know what's going to happen with Josh Harding from a day-to-day basis?
According to Chuck Fletcher, he is willing to go into next season carrying 3 goalies. Those 3 being Darcy Kemper, Josh Harding, and Nicholas Backstrom. Now with Backstrom, they have no choice. They foolishly signed him to a bit of a longer-term deal. He's suffering with nagging abdominal injury, so they're stuck with him. Josh Harding, when he's healthy, man, he's lights out. So you can understand why they want to keep him. But that multiple sclerosis, which is just that's just been playing havoc, and it's a real shame. It really is. But you can understand why they don't want to part ways with him and stick with him. And of course Darcy Kemper, who did play pretty good for them when he was called up. So that's their situation right now. They're not looking at adding another goaltender. Quite frankly, I don't blame them, because if you do, and if Backstrom comes back healthy, and if Harding is
has less complications,
recovered from his multiple sclerosis, or at least has those symptoms under control, then you got a true logjam, and now what do you do? So I don't think the Wild are going to be a destination for a goaltender this summer.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
No, I was going to say I have a question then about the Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do they do now? Is Tokarski their backup, and that Budai's going somewhere? What are they thinking right now?
No, that's an excellent question, and it's been one a lot of Habs fans have been wondering. I mean, because Tokarski played so well. But there's there's two schools of thought on this. On the one hand, you've got folks who think, yes, absolutely, he's earned his shot. Because let's face it, Carey Price is the undisputed starter, so that goes without saying. But Tokarski, I mean, hey, here's a kid you could throw in there for 20, 25, maybe even 30 games, would be maybe better equipped to share the workload with Carey Price, kind of spell him off on those back-to-back games. But on the other hand, you've got people saying, yeah, but it wouldn't be fair to Tokarski because he wouldn't be getting very much playing time. And they've already got Bude signed for another year. They've got Tokarski signed on a 2-year, two-way deal anyway. So why don't you just send him down to the minors and keep him there for next season, and you stick with your tandem of Price and Bude. The danger with doing that, however, is Tokarski next season is no longer exempt from waivers. So if the Habs attempt to bring him up or send him down, well, there's no such thing as reentry waivers anymore, but if the Habs were to bring him up, they send him down, they run the risk of losing him to waivers for nothing. So I would say just on that basis alone, I would keep Tokarski, try and move Budaj if you can.
San Jose, an interesting situation too. Alex Stalock is a free agent as well. Antoni Niemi, we don't know what the hell's going on in his head. I guess the question is how can San Jose get a backup goaltender who is proven enough, but at the same time be able to push Niemi so Niemi doesn't get too comfortable in that?
Well, I mean, and that's the situation they're trying to do right now. That's what they envision by trying to re-sign Stalock, which I believe they will. I don't think Stalock's going to be hitting the unrestricted free agent market. They are very keen to keep him. They're bringing him in both to try and push Niemi, who kind of struggled with consistency this season. But I also think that they're looking at they're kind of envisioning Stalock as perhaps the heir apparent for Niemi. That once Niemi's contract is done, they'll let him walk and they'll keep Stalock. They just want to give him the opportunity and see how he does. So I think that's the kind of the situation we're looking at. There was some talk that maybe one of the moves that the Sharks could make might be to trade Niemi. I don't think that's the right move. I think you re-sign Stalock and you let those two, you go into next season with those two. Because as I said anyway, this summer the market for trying to move goalies is just crap. You're going to have a tough time moving Niemi. If you hang on to both of them, perhaps that market improves during the season, in which case if Stalock is outperforming Niemi, you might have an easier job finding a market for Niemi during the season than you would during the summer.
But looking up and down this roster, Phoenix may be in the market if Thomas Greiss doesn't re-sign.
Yep.
Florida? Yeah, Florida might need a backup goalie, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Unless Dan Ellis is the guy that they want to turn to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a foregone conclusion they're going to be, that Bobby Lou's going to be playing 60, 70 games next season. So I really don't think at this point they give a damn who they throw in there as a backup, whether it's Dan Ellis or you throw somebody else in. I don't know.
Here's one. Vancouver might need a starting goaltender.
Actually, don't laugh. That's a possibility. No, not you. I heard Johnny chuckling. I think it was.
Oh
Johnny.
No, I was definitely laughing, and it was more like an evil laugh. It wasn't like a they need a goalie. I wasn't laughing at the joke. I was
my bad.
More like,
sorry.
Haha, finally.
I think that's your
That'll teach you for screwing around. Hard to believe, it's amazing. You think back a year ago, they had Schneider and Luongo. And they totally, I'm just going to say, they totally fucked it up. There's no other way to put it. You could try and put it more nicely. You can't. In this instance, saying totally fucked it up is apropos because they did. That was absolutely horrible. I mean, the New Jersey Devils, they're set. They've got their goalie. Let's face it, Schneider's their guy. They're going to get him re-signed to a long-term deal. That's happening this summer. Brodeur's gone. I mean, and may I just say on that note, I mean, Marty, retire, dude. Retire. You got nothing left. I want to play one more year, and I'd like to go to a cup contender. Okay, I understand it. You want to taste that championship one more time? Let it go. Just let it go. You've done enough. You're just going to embarrass you. He started embarrassing himself this season. And I hate saying that because I'm a fan of Brodeurs. I really am. But, God, there were some games this season I just cringed. It's just like, oh, God, this is ugly. This is horrible. This is the danger we see where you see a great athlete stick around too long. And I understand it's hard to let go. I mean, I understand that. I get it. But, I mean, there's a generation, if I put it this way, there's a generation of hockey fans who only know Mark Messier as the old bald guy with the Rangers. They don't know what the Messier who was at one time one of the most dominant and frightening players in NHL history. I mean, they never saw his greatness in the 80s and early 90s. They just know him as, that old bald guy who was with the Rangers. There's, and that's what Brodeur's kind of facing right now. Yes, sure, everybody knows, greatest goaltender, da-da-da-da. But, man, you've hung around just a little too long, and it's time to pack it up and go. And it might happen. I mean, the situation he's trying to envision is, well, if I go somewhere as a number 2 goalie, I would like to go to a team that has a shot at winning a Stanley Cup. Well, I'm sorry, Marty, but the teams that have shots at winning the Stanley Cup next year, their goaltending is set. They're already set. I can't think of any cup contenders for next season that could use Martin Brodeur.
And in all honesty, does he even know how to be a backup at this point?
Exactly.
Is his ego going to allow it? So
exactly, and let alone where are you going to go to be a starter?
Yeah.
Where? I'm sorry. I can't think about Winnipeg. Maybe no, because they're keeping Andre Pavlik, and even then, that's
silly.
He's not. There's not going to have a chance there. It's just no. Let it go, Marty. For God's sake, don't let our final memories of you being you in another uniform, looking just like a ghost of your former self. That's just too painful to watch. Let it go.
In other news, welcome Scott. Yeah, exactly. Welcome Scott Clemenson back to the New Jersey Devils as the backup to Corey Schneider. I can see that headline being written.
That could be interesting.
So
yeah, because Schneider needs to know he's going to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think he proved last season, beyond a shadow of a doubt, he was the guy in New Jersey, he needs to know he's not going to have somebody looking over his shoulder. I know it was tough for him. I thought he handled it well, basically coming into Marty's town, into Marty's office, taking over Marty's office. That wasn't an easy situation. I mean, I think both of them handled it well, but at the end of the day, Corey needs to know that he's the guy. So, yeah, you bring in somebody that's no threat to him, who's going to, can spell him off for a few games, but is no threat. Scott Clemenson, there's worse.
He knows the team very well. He
knows the system.
He can step in. He can step into a bigger role if Schneider does get a little bit worn down and the wear and tear does affect. So
in the short term, that's not a bad suggestion. Yeah.
In other news, Jonas Hiller will be your new starting goaltender for the Vancouver Canucks. And I think it's going to be a great time had by all.
That is that's going to be an interesting. Vancouver now with a new GM and a new team president. Yeah, it's almost like forget all the assumptions you had about them before, because now we don't know what how they're going to handle this. I mean, are they going to stick with Eddie Locke? Are they going to stick with Markstrom? Do they just kick Markstrom to the curb, stick with Locke, but bring in somebody like Jonas Hiller? Would Ryan Miller be willing to go there?
Here's the crazy part. Well, I don't know if he would.
I don't know if he would or not, but Hiller, I think, would go to Vancouver in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, right now they're playing with fire, waiting on Willie Desjardins. They are playing because Game 3 in the AHL, the Calder Cup Finals, is right now. It's going on the 11th.
Yeah.
The next game of the Calder Cup Finals is not until Monday.
Yeah.
So that prolongs them being able to talk to Willie Desjardins, who's coaching the Texas Stars right now.
And meanwhile, I mean, if the Stanley Cup Final ends tonight or Friday, or whenever Game 5 is supposed to be, is Saturday? Friday. Good, thank God. I hate this stretched out shit. But anyway, but I mean, if the Stanley Cup Final is over this week, there's a very good possibility that John Stevens could be off the table as well, because there are teams very interested in talking to him when the playoffs are done. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They I can understand why they would kind of be looking at Willie Desjardins, but I mean, if there's other options that are available out there, go get them.
Yeah, you have to make this, because the buyout period starts 48 hours after the last Cup Final game.
Yeah,
right?
And and runs to June 30th.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna have precious little time there. You want to get a coach in before the draft, all intents and purposes. You want to get that input in there.
Well,
Yeah,
and especially for some of your potential free agents, because what they want to do could hinge on who you hire as a coach.
True.
So
True enough. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. Let me tell you.
I got to tell you guys, this year is shaping up, I think, to be one of the busiest off seasons we've seen in a long time. There's going to be quite a lot of trades. You know, the free agent market is what it is. I know, yeah, there's not a lot of depth of talent in there, obviously, but you know, there's not chopped liver there either. There's some decent players in there. So, I mean, that's going to be, you know, busy as it normally is. But this year it's that trade market. And I think we talked about this following the trade deadline, this year's trade deadline, when we noticed, you know, God, you know, how many star players actually were on the move at the trade deadline. This year's trade deadline was one of the best in years. And we said at the time, I remember us discussing it and say, yeah, this could be something that carries over into this summer because, you know, you got a salary cap that's going to go up between 5 to 6 million. General managers can now retain up to half of a player's salary, you know, which was a big that was an issue. That's why players like Marian Gaborik were able to be moved at the trade deadline, because teams were able to withhold some salary in order to facilitate a deal. And you know, we've got an unusually high number of teams which changed management since January, and those GMs are going to want to, you know, they're going to want to make an early splash. So, you know, I think we're kind of looking at a perfect storm, if you will, creating a situation where we're going to see I think we're going to see quite a lot of trades, and it's going to be involving a number of named players. And yeah, it'll happen probably in the week leading up to the draft.
Yeah, and let's be honest, the free agency period could be something that doesn't even last just that first day. We're talking a prolonged amount of time that we could have this all carry out, and even more trades if they don't get done at the deadline.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. I mean,
at the draft.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know what you meant. But I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, as I said, it's going to be a busy period because, well, you got to figure we'll see a lot of trade activity. I think right up until the NHL draft weekend. It may taper off a bit because because remember now teams are allowed. I think what is it, a 48 or 72-hour window where they are allowed to talk to pending unrestricted free agents. You know. They are allowed to do that now. So we could see a situation where things kind of quiet down a little bit in those few days right after the draft weekend, leading up to July 1st. We're probably going to see the bulk of the top free agents gone on July 1st, maybe carry over in July 2nd, but definitely gone those 2 days. And then once that market is cleaned out, has been picked clean of the best talent, then I think we're going to start to see the trade activity pick up again.
And just in time for the World Cup finals to start. So there's that.
There we go. Oh man, yeah.
Brazil.
This one's going to be great because I'm going to be able to cover the. I'm going to be able to follow on the all the NHL entry draft shit. But I will have World Cup to keep me entertained while
we'll be doing the same thing, actually.
What's that?
We'll be doing the same thing.
Yes. Technically, the World Cup finals start tomorrow, Scotty.
Either way, the point is this.
If I'm trying to be a jerk about it, the World Cup finals is the tournament.
Are you talking about Team USA's chances, in other words? Or?
Probably.
Well, we'll see what happens to Canada when they host in 2022.
Canada's not hosting.
They still have a chance.
They're making a push to host
away from Canada.
Oh, good luck with that. That's
Steve Nash still might be the best soccer player in the country by then.
But Lyle, they're holding the World Cup in a place that literally cannot hold the World Cup. It's like having the Super Bowl in a lake.
I know. Oh, I know. I saw the documentary where they literally, one of their venues is so far up the Amazon River they have to pump in sunlight. I mean, it's a stadium that's only going to play 4 games, and then after that, what are they going to do with it? Because they're
going to go back into the habitat.
It's going to have to, because man, there's just nothing there. You know, they were saying their local team is like so far down the division they don't even draw 2,000 fans. So yeah, like.
But let's be honest now. We're talking more about 2022 when Qatar gets there, or Qatar, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Qatar. Yeah.
It goes to Toronto and Montreal.
Why do I have a feeling that the Qatar thing is going to get overturned, because there's a real rancid stink that's coming off that. So,
but I fully agree with John Oliver on that one. If they weren't taking bribes, then I would be worse off. Because I would be trying to figure out why they get the World Cup. just because they're getting bribed is like the reason that it's there.
Well, that's the only reason. It's like he said. I mean, that is the worst place. I mean, short of the Antarctic, that you could play football. It really is. At 50 degrees, that's 120 degrees. I mean, I've been. Listen, when I served.
It is a dry heat, Scotty. You're right.
Yes, it's a dry heat. Listen, when I served, I've been to Qatar. I was there when I served in the Persian Gulf War in 1991, and it is hot as fuck there. It is. It is. Oh man. I mean, like you said, yes, it's a dry heat, but dehydration sneaks up on you really quickly if you do not, stay hydrated. And to be playing World Cup footy in the middle of the day there is absolutely insane. It's crazy.
It's going to be the first World Cup that's played halfway across the world, but will still be on Eastern time because they have to play everything at night.
They're going to have to. That's the only way. Play it at night. Yes, the nights are comfortable. Yes, you can do that. Yeah, play it from the time the sun goes down. Maybe even early in the morning, just as the sun's coming up. But after that, forget it.
The games are at 9 p.m., 11 p.m., and 1 in the morning. It's kind of like Mark's hockey schedule.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do we make of Dan Boyle's rights being traded? Where is he? He's obviously not signing in New York. Where is he off to now?
Listen, I could see Tampa Bay as a potential destination. His agent said that he really enjoyed playing and living there when he did. Before, of course, the OK Hockey Circus came along and drove him out of town. Whee! So that's a possibility. They're looking for some blue line depth. I wouldn't rule that out. Would he go back to Florida? I don't think the Panthers are a destination. The Panthers want to get younger. If they do go after any free agents, they're going to be looking at guys who are going to be late 20s, just to maybe around 30. So I don't think that there's a market for him there.
So are we assuming that Florida is not going to trade that first overall pick then?
Listen, I'm not ruling it out. I think they're going to. And I think their talk this week of saying, well, if we don't trade it, we'll probably use it to pick Aaron Ekblad. I think that was to rattle the people who are behind them in the draft, in that top 5 to 6, who have their eye on Ekblad, who really, really want him, and really crossing their fingers and hoping he's going to be available. I think they did that to try and see if they can't rattle him, to try and see if they can't get a better offer. I honestly believe that's why he did that. He has no reason to pick Aaron Ekblad. I don't think that he has any reason. I'm not saying I don't blame him if he does. Apparently, some scouts, some of the organizations consider him the top pick. But apparently there's talk that actually, Dale Talon would prefer somebody like Willie Nylander, maybe Bennett, or, the German kid, whose name eludes me for the moment.
Oh, I can't pronounce it. It begins with an I. He played in Prince Albert this year.
Yeah.
Is there an umlaut?
Leon. No, I'm sorry, Leon.
Leon. Yes.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Yes.
Liam Neeson. Yes, absolutely. He has a particular set of skills.
He's a monster.
He will find you. And he will kill your penalties for you. Yes. But
that's actually his video for the draft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On a phone
But honestly, I don't think that Talon is that I think he genuinely wants to move that pick. He wants to get a good player back, a good young player back out of it, a good established young player as part of the return. And I just think that he just did that to try and see if he can't rattle some of those guys that are picking immediately behind him, to see if he can't force them into sweetening the pot.
There we go. Lyle says Florida's going to trade that first overall pick.
Yep. I am saying I believe he's going to.
The only problem I see is that he'll probably use a fax machine and it won't come in until after.
Oh! Damn, I forgot about that. Talon and fax machines.
Yeah.
Well, I made that gag on Friday. I said, Dale, what do you think Dale Talon's trying to figure out how to use a fax machine to get something to Dan Biasma? Because he doesn't know how to use a fax machine. And that's That's a dated reference, folks.
That's another joke that won't die, and I like it.
Nope.
Oh no, God, that one just wrote itself, man.
It's
I
the
mean, that was the beautiful thing about it. It wrote itself.
The biggest gaffe in history
Ugh.
of Dale Talon.
How can you? And I mean, I know fax machines are rapidly becoming a quaint relic of another era, but how could you mess that up? A fax machine is easy, dude.
And how do you not have assistants to help you with this?
Exactly. Like, how can you fuck that up?
Apparently.
Honestly, to this day, I still don't buy it that he had trouble with the fax machine. I just think he forgot the deadline. I really think he forgot the deadline, and somebody told him, and he's like, "What?"
Well, his Outlook calendar had the reminder for the next day. So that was what it was occurring.
There you go. You see. That's what happens when you don't buy an up-to-date Farside calendar. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Apparently, the paperclip came and said, "It looks like you're trying to send a fax. Would you like help?" Then no, and obviously you should have said yes.
Yes.
So Clippy.
Clippy. I don't miss him. I have Windows 8 now. I don't miss him.
He was such a bastard, though. Like, you would be trying to actually do something. He would come in and try and help, and you're like, no, fuck off.
You're like, yeah, exactly. Like, if I want your help, I will ask for it.
You've spent the last 15 minutes trying to put... whatever. Would you like My brain isn't working right now. I could have used some help with that setup.
Jesus Christ, yeah. It looks like you're trying to put together a punchline. Would you like some help?
Yes, Clippy, I would like some help.
The punchline is, we don't serve breakfast here.
Bingo. A closer. Kill one of those nights. All right, Lyle, we got any... who?
I was just gonna say, I would have also I would also have accepted that was my brother-in-law, and the whole family is sick about it.
I also would accept it. Depends on how thin you slice them. But
Yes.
we won't get into that bit until the Big Stan Invitational in honor of Big Stan.
Wow. Yeah.
Hopefully, with Big Stan there to contribute. So I think that would be great too if he just starts it all and then.
I want to see pictures, lots of pictures.
Oh, there's going to be pictures, and I'm bringing it's a 3-camera shoot, Lyle.
Yeah, there's going to be moving pictures.
Awesome.
We're going to have these things called talkies, Lyle.
Ah, the Magic Lantern Show.
Actually, you know what? That's a lie because Mark says moving pictures. He means the Rush album.
One of the greatest Rush albums ever.
Of course, it's great. It's fantastic. Why wouldn't we have it on repeat
Absolutely.
as we walk into the bowling centers at 11 o'clock in the morning
Yes.
where no one's there? Like, really? You guys are coming in now?
Yeah, have YYZ cranked up to 11. Absolutely.
I could bring my Bluetooth speaker with me. We could play our own music while we're at while we're at the bowling alleys.
I like it. Let's make it happen. Anything of substance that we missed, Lyle, before we get you out of here?
No, I think we covered all the bases there, fellas.
All right, there, Lyle. Next week we will either have a Game 7 or a Stanley Cup champion. Either or.
Or we'll be discussing the USA versus Ghana match.
Yes,
exactly.
I dare say we'll be discussing that as well.
And Italy plays England on Saturday.
Oh, they do. That's gonna be a big one.
Ooh, looking forward to that so much. God, I love this. I love when World Cup comes around. Damn you, FIFA! Damn you for making us love this so much.
Actually, Lyle, I'll email you the Excel document that I made of all of the World Cup games and what time they're on TV.
Please.
Hey, did you correct that? Because you have 3 o'clock still for the Portugal-U.S. game, and that apparently was wrong.
No, what occurred was apparently Excel did not order by date and time. So I have to resort Excel, and I have not done it because I already wasted legal paper to print it out.
What about illegal paper?
Rolling papers are accepted. Yeah. Yeah, definitely shoot that to me. I will put that on my desktop. Absolutely.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's World Cup time. Everybody go nuts. If you don't like footy, fuck you. Anyway.
That's a good quote for the back of a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm just channeling I'm just channeling my inner England fan. So there you go.
It's actually the green T-shirts the referees wear. It says FIFA on the front, and it says if you don't like footy, then fuck you on the back.
Absolutely.
All right, Lyle. We'll talk to you next week briefly about the Stanley Cup, and then we'll do our preview U.S. Ghana.
Yes.
As we get ready for World Cup Brazil.
World Cup Brazil.
Brazil.
Scotty, they play on Monday.
What's that?
USA Ghana plays on Monday.
Like I said,
we'll
be
we'll
reviewing
discuss it
USA
after
Ghana.
reviewing.
We'll be doing a post game of USA Ghana 2 games afterwards.
2 days later, when we've had time to either.
After the game's been long and Ghana, we will.
You did there. But we will be.
You hate
touring.
yourself for that, don't you, Scotty?
That joke made my teeth hurt.
I know. I saw you cringe, brother. I saw you cringe. I can tell when you've let one rip that even you went. Ooh.
Hey.
Dropped a bomb on that one.
I feel like I'm playing in gutter right now. So warm.
Oh my. Okay, that's enough of that turkey. Anyway.
They didn't even make the World Cup.
I know, but it seemed worth it. And it's 2-0! It's a goal for the Rangers. Yes, it is 2-0.
Jesus, the Kings have them right where they want
Second and it is Martin Saint-Louis. Martin Saint-Louis with it's a power play marker, and they're going wild at Madison Square Garden.
You
the
know what?
monosodium glutamate of North America.
Next
A
week,
goal of orgasmic proportions!
next week we should talk about how two goal lead is the worst lead in hockey.
It is. Right now it's like, 2-goal lead. Whoop-de shit. Well, mind you, it was a pretty solid lead in Game 3, but anyway.
I've always hated that quote. I don't know why.
2-goal lead.
Actually, no. I know why. It's because they're still leading by 2 goals.
That's true.
Fucking
But still,
moron.
worst lead. The worst
lead.
of all the leads.
Although
all the leads.
3-0. 3-0 is a good lead.
Anyway,
All right,
had to challenge my England footy commentator for that one. So there you are.
There we go. All right. So. Have fun, Lyle. Enjoy the World Cup that starts tomorrow. Croatia, Brazil.
Talk to you next week, guys.
Bye, Lyle. There he goes. Lyle Richardson, SpectresHockey.net, thehockeynews.com, PI Guardian, and Island, and of course the Bleacher Report. All right, gentlemen. Time to wrap it up. Shout-outs, Johnny P.
I'll shout out the World Cup again. I got a T-shirt.
Ooh.
For the U.S. this time around. I couldn't go with any of the jerseys. Both jerseys I don't like.
One of them looks like that Rocket ice cream popsicle.
Yeah, or like the reject Russian jerseys.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, World Cup starts tomorrow, which means that effectively from noon until I leave work, I will be listening to World Cup soccer games, and then I will come home and watch them.
Tremendous.
A shout out to Slanch in Federal Hill, in Fells Point. If you're in the area, go there to watch games. They became the soccer bar of BuzzFeed for the state of Maryland.
Hey.
BuzzFeed
Wow, that's very specific.
BuzzFeed put out a top 50 bars in the United States, one per state, where you should watch the World Cup. And Slanch was the only one from Maryland.
Slanch has 27 menu items that'll pair well with that beer you're having. Number 1. Oh. Sorry, it's BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
That's a slide. That's a slideshow though. And yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to Mom retiring because that'll have occurred before our next show. Mom is retiring from teaching. Congratulations, Mom. Now you and Dad can travel the world until you get sick of each other.
That's true. All of that was.
All of those are not lies.
So I think that's all my shout-outs.
There you go.
And we'll see Scotty in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It's like he just left.
13 days.
That's awesome.
Because my flight gets in at 10:58 Eastern at night. Ugh, it's gonna be a long day. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a bit. Mark with a C.
Also shout out the World Cup and the Black Lung. I will be
The only
shouting
thing
out.
I've gotten since I got into LA was Black Lung.
And I will be shouting out, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to shout out. I'm really excited about the World Cup. That's really about it. Shout out to Mom, again, for the retirement.
Yeah.
I want to be able to retire soon. I don't think I'm going to be able to, though.
Just hit that Powerball, son.
I don't have enough in my nest egg yet, or that television. My string isn't long enough.
What?
They have a string. They tied it to like a horseshoe thing, and you were supposed to take the string out, and then like the different rings that you get the string farther out represented different years. It's very complicated. It's a retirement thing, I think. I don't know.
So wait, what did California Chrome do?
Not enough, apparently.
Hey-o.
Not enough. That's all I got.
All right, shout out to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual for your steaks and beers and stuff and more, and shout out to Jen B, who's a great friend to me there and helped me become one of the regulars there. Sweet hot of a girl, starting to focus on her family, so that's a good deal for her. So shout out to her. She was also pissed off that we didn't get credentials, so I'm happy about that too. So there's that. Shout out to Mrs. P for all her hard, dedicated work. Hall of Famer through and through. So shout out to her.
She actually is
literally.
Anne Arundel County Hall of Famer.
AA Co, bro. Shout out to coming back to Maryland in 13 days. God, one of these days it's just going to be forever, and then you're all going to have to put up with me on a regular basis. I'm going to pop in like Norm, and it's that like at Frank's Den, get those $2 natty bows during game nights. It's going to be great. Have we figured out if are the O's playing that Wednesday night? Because if they are, it's $2 bow night. And then
I don't know, but I really hope they have like World Cup specials. I bet you that they have the USA 1994 poster in there somewhere.
And it's still like new.
Yes. I was about to say, there's no way that they have...
It's got Carlos Valderrama looking fantastic in his fro.
Yeah.
Also, I want to shout out to the World Cup of Hockey 1996, just because that was a great time for everyone.
Was it for everyone? Come on, Scotty.
That's for most people. For me, it was a great time for me. It was when FX finally got hockey in it. They had the robots and the glowing puck. It was great. It's good times. Hilarious. Greg Wyshynski wrote a book about it. It's fantastic. That's it. That's all. For Johnny P. Mark with the C, I'm Scotty Watts. Take care of yourself and someone else. Has been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com, which is also our Tumblr. Check us out on the Facebook, FOHS Radio, and then the Twitter, Face Off HCKY Show, unless we're on TweetDeck, and then we'll retweet really crazy things. So there's that. But until next week, when we'll maybe have a Stanley Cup winner and definitely have a World Cup going on. Peace.
Well, even that's not debatable.
You're debatable.